Welcome to Blonde Cards and Crafts. Let's make something together. Hello crafters, welcome to my channel. I'm Simone and today I'd like to make with you this 6x6 octagonal card. To make this card I've used some products from my stash. I've used some stamps and dies by Love from Lizi. I've also used the Paper Boutique Ocean Breeze paper kit, and this is an 8x8 paper kit. And I've also used the Creative Octagonal Nesting Dies. I'll leave links to all the products that I use down below in the description. So why not sit back, relax and enjoy my video, or maybe you'd like to craft along with me, and if you do, make sure you tag me on social media. I'd love to see your makes. So let's go ahead and get crafting. Here on my craft table I have all the pieces I'll need to make the card, and I'm just going to show you these Creative Nestables octagonal die set. Now you get quite a lot of dies in this set. There are 24 dies in this die set, and I've used 3 of the dies, and if you go from the outside I've used the 7th, 8th and 9th die. The smallest die in that set is a 1/2 inch by a 1/2 inch, and the largest one is 7 3/4 by 7 3/4. But our card base measures 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. So you can make a card base any size you like, but that's what I've used using the dies. So I have a piece of card here measuring 6 by 12. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my card in half, and that'll give me a 6x6 card base. Now once I've done that, what I'm going to do is die cut out these two together, but I'm going to leave one edge of the die sitting off the card. That way it won't cut through all of the sides. So I'll place my die on my piece of card like this. And you can just see there the top of the die where the washi tape is. That isn't going to be sitting on the card. It's going to be sitting off our card. That way it won't cut into the card. And that's what's going to make, as I said, our card base. So I'm going to pop that through my Big Shot now and die cut that out. I have the Big Shot Plus die machine as well as the Gemini, and any of them will work for cutting out your card base. So here we are, I have another card base made, and that's because I'm going to make another card off screen. So we have our card base, and now I'm going to use my next die down, and that would be the 8th from the outside die. I want to cut out 2 of these in navy cardstock using the die. And when I use this die, it's going to cut my blue mats out at 5.5 by 5.5, roughly thereabouts. So I need one for the outside matte layer and one for the inside matte layer. Okay. So then I'm going to use the next die down, and this one is the 9th die from the outside. And this one I want to cut a white paper and patterned paper, and they cut roughly out at 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. Now the patterned paper, this has stripes on it, so you can have it any direction really. And my white layer to go inside is going to have our sentiment. I fussy cut out this piece of patterned paper. There's some lovely patterned papers in this Ocean Breeze paper kit, as well as some lovely die cut toppers and sentiments. So I've taken a piece of the patterned paper and I fussy cut around this edge, and I just use the scissors. If you have a Scan & Cut or a Cricut, you can use that, but I happily sit here and cut out using a scissors. I want to have this down along the bottom of my sentiment panel, so I'll cut off the excess once I have it glued down. And I think that will look lovely down there on that panel. So I was debating what I was going to put on the outside, and I have this lovely die set from Love from Lizi, and it has Miss You here. It has a shadow die as well as the words, and I'm going to use that for the outside, and for inside I'm going to use one of the stamp sets with Hello There. I love the font on this little stamp set. So I've sped everything up now and we're going to assemble our card. I'm going to use my art glitter glue to stick down all my mats and layers, and that's just because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room to get my paper on straight. I am the queen of a wonky line, so this I find helps me, but you can use whatever you have in your stash. So lovely, that's the front done. Now I'm going to do my front toppers. And on the outside topper, this image, this die cut image is 3 3/8 by 3.5, and my blue mat is 3 5/8 by 3 3/4. I've got some 3M foam tape and I'm going to use that to lift this die cut panel up from the front of the card. You can just use some glue here or some double-sided tape if you don't want to add dimension to the front of your card. I have my die cut out Miss You, and I'm going to put a little bit of foam tape on the side where the miss is, just under the M and the I. The rest of the sentiment, I'm going to use some liquid glue to stick that down. The reason I've put a little bit of foam tape there is because it's off the topper. I need that to balance it, so it just helps to keep my sentiment level. Lovely, delighted with that. Okay, so let's work on the inside of our card. So I've got my fussy cut piece of card there, and I've marked on that just how far I need to put my glue. There's no point in putting glue everywhere when I'm going to be cutting some of it off. So I'll stick this down onto my white panel. And once I have that in place, I'll then turn it over and cut off the excess. And I'm using the white octagonal shape to give me an idea of where I need to cut. So I think that gives a nice finish there. And you can pick up the image there is the same as the image on our lighthouse. There's the roses there on the front of that. So I'll stick this down, and I debated, did I want it off to the side, you know, did I want it tilted? But I decided no, I want the flowers directly on the bottom. So lovely, I'll use my liquid glue again, and then I'll stick this down to the inside of our card. I think this would make a really nice easel card as well. I love the idea of that, and I think the next one I make while I'm here crafting, I might make an easel one to see how that turns out. Okay, so now I want to stamp a little sentiment inside, and I'm keeping it simple. I'm just using this hello there stamp from Love from Lizi. I think that's nice. I can then write my sentiment around that, the little message. In the paper pack, there's this cute little seagull, and on one of the scraps of paper I had from a previous crafting session, there was this little seagull, and I thought I'm going to fussy cut that out and sit it there above the M on the Miss You. And it made me smile, and I thought, you know what, isn't that lovely? Okay, so with that done, I've used my Wink of Stella on my lighthouse and on my flowers. Now I'm going to use some Nuvo crystal drops, and these ones are called Double Denim, and you can use sequins or, you know, anything like that to embellish the card, but I thought I'd go with these Nuvo drops. I'm tapping the Nuvo drops, and what that does is it helps the drops to settle, so you don't get a point on them, you get a nice dome shape. I've also zoomed in here so you can see how I'm putting on my glossy accents on the roses. I'm just putting some around the edge of the rose petals, and I think that gives a nice look rather than filling the whole lot in. And I've also filled in our little seagull, and I've used a pin to pull out some of the glossy accents on his beak. So there we go, that's our card made for today. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I'm going to leave you with some images of the card that we've made. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, I'd love if you'd click the like button down below and give my video a thumbs up. If you're a subscriber, thanks for subscribing, and if not, you might click on the bell icon down below. That way you'll be notified next time I post a video. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And coming up on the screen, you'll see links to other videos I've made. So thanks for watching, and until next time, bye bye.